Alright, ladies and gentlemen, game 2 coming from the map choice from Riley, going to be Ohana LE. And the last map we saw him trying to do some one basin with about 3 barracks and a factory starport. But we'll see how he varies it up this time. So both players saying this is their favorite new map. I really like it a lot as well. It's got some bright colors, fun to play on. It's kind of a long, tall map. I like how the first 3 bases is fairly easy to take, and then from there it gets to be a game of choices. However, the map very balanced, pretty symmetric. I mean, very symmetrical. I guess most maps, are going to be symmetrical, but I like the way that Ohana is laid out. Oddly enough, the first place I am going to show you is up here on the low setting. Something is wrong with this water. It looks nice and stagnant or frozen. I cannot decide. However, with the palm trees present, I have a hard time believing that this is frozen. Other theory has been that this is the Dead Sea, and it is indeed so thick that it doesn't flow. Now, the water does flow everywhere else normally. So yeah, back into the game. Icon has Nuke in the top left here, starting off things as, is this indeed light blue Zerg? And in the bottom left, yellow Terran, it's going to be Riley. Players talking about the Overlord speed earlier. Yes, indeed, Overlord speed did receive a buff. Look at this Overlord just hauling Zergy flesh across the map. Definitely a big advantage for Zerg scouting. I think the idea is to help them scout all ins and cheeses a little bit better, which personally I don't agree with too much, as I do not play Zerg and I like to all in and cheese Zerg. But now with this Overlord speed, they can get out there and see what's going on, see the wall heading on down. In fact, I think some players will now just opt to scout with their first Overlord and not even ever send a drone out to scout. Will we see hatch first? We do. Icon has Nuke going similar to the last game where he goes hatch first as the Terran completely walls in. As he should and is normal, but we'll see if Terran comes up with a fast expanding strategy here as well. So some interesting chit chat going on here. So Riley's saying the tournament's been easy except for Zerg. So testing him in this matchup, but that is good to see. In fact, super quick third coming from Icon has Nuke. I think that is in response to this, but he actually did not see that until just now. So definitely a risky move that I would like to see Riley provide some quick pressure to. He will not see that third going down, though. He's going to have to get over there and scout that before he can do anything about it. Spawning pool just now coming down. Definitely the lack of queens or the spawning pool or extractors should probably tell Riley that this money is going somewhere, but he may not have time to examine the Zerg base that much as he's busy macroing himself. Calling down the first mule. He may get this Overlord with this Marine. I don't think so, though, because this Overlord speed is actually quite an advantage. It's going to be a lot harder to snipe those early Overlords now with just a single Marine. I did think that it was a little bit too easy to do that before. But it was also a good thing to just do a little bit of damage early to Zerg. This quick third gonna have to be scouted soon by Terran in order for him to be able to do anything about it. It's gonna start kicking in big time. Queens coming down at all 3 of the bases right now. Nearly finishing up. In fact, a huge round of, I'm guessing, drones will be all of those first larva injects. A couple of depots at the front. I think we should probably see a bunker. I would guess that Riley would do that, as we saw the Baneling bus come in last game and wreck everything. course, he did happen to load up all of his Marines, or nearly all of them, into a medevac right before that, so the anti-timing of that drop was actually unbelievable. Oh, we see triple barracks coming on in after the expansion. Looking at income, it's going to be in the Zerg favor by quite a bit, as he does have more harvesters, and no gas yet taken from the Zerg though. So. Supply is going in favor of Icon has Nuke, just having a few more harvesters, going to be making that difference. And these first couple rounds of injects will probably just be that droning up, because if Terran does not make a move out, the huge economic advantage will go to the Zerg. So he's going to move out and take this watchtower. I'd like to see him send at least some form of patrolling Marine up around to check this third. Especially before this creep connects these bases, Zerg should probably begin killing these rocks with the first units he gets. In fact, he could probably do that with these idle queens as they're just sitting around. And we do see a bunch of Zerglings in production, to be exact, 14, but a bunch just popped out. Rally point is not yet set, and these Marines could actually do a substantial amount of damage. The spine crawl at the top of the ramp is in position, and they're going to see this creep over here and realize that there is a third base. So these Marines going to escape. I was expecting maybe that these Zerglings would pursue, but they're going to get back and wait for some more reinforcements. Factory on the way now, and the first tank coming in for Riley. He's not getting the siege research yet, as he's waiting for some gas. He has taken 2 gases at his main, but nothing at the natural yet. And Zerg taking all of his gases right now. He did have the 2 going in the main, but a little bit earlier, but taking 4 of them at his natural and third. Spawning a couple of spine crawlers here, and which is a good idea, definitely, as Terran will probably think about going in, and neither of these 2 choices is very good right now, as this is up a ramp, and this is into a couple of spine crawlers. So this drone maybe was supposed to make a spine crawler, but decided that he would just chill and see if it looked like a good thing to be or not when his friends were done. Zergling's going to be killing off the destructible rocks. Good thinking by the Zerg there, as he's got to be able to make it a little bit easier to move between these bases than around the front where he is vulnerable, especially once some tanks would happen to get set up. We see some great creep spread coming on from Icon has Nuke, though. This is spreading out quite far, and a lovely extra supply depot is called down here. Not something that you want to see. It looks like we're going to see a lot of Marines come out. Just a couple of Marauders maybe from this one barracks that has a tech lab. And Marine tank, a gray composition, is going to be moving out actually towards the middle of the map. And there are just currently Zerglings for a Zerg. So he's going to get a good vision of this before it gets to him quite a ways because of this creep. In fact, he can see it right now. Creep's vision actually goes just a little bit farther than it spreads. And what can he do with this? He just has Zerglings and they're going to sweep in, but a couple of them are going to die so quickly. We have no stim right now, which we did need to see. But we do, I believe, have the combat shields. Indeed, we do. And there's no sign of engineering bays. Now double engineering bay. Instantly probably going to go for those upgrades, as he does have about the right amount of money to go for double ups, even gas and even minerals, but no upgrades currently going to happen. Probably microing this army. He might be making a big push here. These spine crawlers, though, are in a great position. Nice reaction from Zerg. Zerg should probably be targeting down this tank, though, as it is doing a ton of damage, but more roaches stream in, and they're going to be able to clean everything up. Some good damage done, I think, by Terran for some units. There's indeed, actually, he does end up a little bit ahead in the units lost. So, successful first attack, I would say, for Terran, with a nice amount of Marines following us up. I think we do need to see some more tanks, though, or at least some medevacs to make these Marines a little more effective. We still have no Baneling nest anywhere for Zerg. The Spire is coming down though. However, Spire not going to be a very good choice against this massive amount of Marine composition from Riley. Sending out another force. Terrans that just send in rounds of Marines and tanks can actually be quite cost effective and do a lot of damage and force Zerg to overproduce sometimes. And I'm going to catch these units, and actually the tank going to die very quickly as it's out of position. The Marines in a great position on this ramp. Going to force those roaches back, and going to go and target down the spine crawlers. Actually in there taking huge damage from the spine crawlers. These Marines were not very effective. Some nice control with the roaches by Iconhaz Nuke, luring those Marines around and keeping them in the path of that damage. We do see a medevac drop heading up on the left side. Riley loaded up completely. A couple of Marauders actually in there, and just going to land before those medevacs get there. These mutas do not want to engage these Marines right now. And indeed, they will get out of there. Stinpak is now done, but Zergling's going to come in and help finish everything up. The muta flock is actually quite big. And we have currently 20 mutas on the board, so a lot of Marines going to have to pop on out. 1-1 up's about to finish, and a couple of Vikings. Vikings can work against the mutas, but they actually don't do very well. And once the mutas get into a large count. Zerg looking like he's in pretty solid control again, getting aggressive and taking 2 forward expansions here. They're actually done, and a big drone transfer going to be going to the 4th. So Terran going to have to deal some damage soon. He just does not have the unit count here to do that, I don't believe. However, 1-1 did finish. And Zerg is sitting here on 0-0 and 0-1. So upgrades in favor of Terran, but definitely economy in favor of Zerg. 185 supply to 104, you can tell by that. Also, mutas are just so hard to stop without cores in the later games of Mastery. This hatchery going to be target fired down though. No, it is not, as the units come in and there are not enough Marines. The muta's going to clean everything up. Should have targeted down this hatchery, Ryan, but a tough decision there when your army looks as if maybe it could take this force, and then you realize that there's actually a ton of mutas and you can't deal with it. So this hatchery going to be sitting just a few more volleys from that bio away from dead. I'd like to see some mutas move in and harass here from Iconhaz Nuke, but he's just sitting here macroing up, and now a couple of small forces moving out, which Zerg will just swallow up if he catches wind of that. These tanks really need to come with this army right now. And Zerg going to move in over this high ground and probably swallow up everything when he realizes what is there or what actually is not there. And that is a lot of units, and so he's going to be very happy to beat up everything. Terran's going to be in a lot of trouble trying to take this 3rd. I don't think there's any way he can do that. The muta's going to fly in right now, and don't deny this landing, but the muta's going to polish off this command center. And this force of Marines is not going to be enough. A couple of medevacs do pop. They need to get over those Marines. The muta's going to try to get over to snipe these tanks. The tank goes down so quickly. Marines in a pretty good little position, but now Morlings are going to come in and probably be able to clean up everything. Baneling nest finally coming down. I don't know if we'll see a massive Baneling morph just for fun from Iconhaz Nuke, or if he's just going to go ahead and attack sooner. There is just purely Marines right here. The depot's not even up. A definite blunder. Marines do hold up fairly well. However, their numbers are going to dwindle, and the mutas are going to swarm in and kill everything. I expect to see GG, and we'll see if Riley can come up with something in Game 3 to keep him in this tournament.